Are we on? Okay. My name is Liz Harrison, and I live in Fresno, California. I'm a journalist, so this is very awkward, being asked the questions. Actually, I'm not even being asked a question, I'm just talking. So my friend Pakise here was putting me on the spot and asking me to talk about my woman that's had a lot of influence on my life. And I would say that that's my maternal grandmother. Her name was Rosalie Fenwick. I called her Meanie, not because she was mean, but I think my brother was trying to save money when he was little, and we ended up calling her Meanie. And none of my friends ever understood why I called my grandmother Meanie, but she was anything but. She was an absolute kick in the pants. This was a woman who loved hats. She loved flip-flops. She wore flip-flops with everything. She put daisies on her flip-flops. This was before Old Navy started embellishing their flip-flops. She called them Zoris, but they're flip-flops. I think she learned how to wear them when she lived in Japan. My grandfather was an Episcopal priest, also a chaplain in the Air Force. And she should have been the type of woman to mind her P's and Q's all the time because she was a pastor's wife. She had a wild streak. Very, very independent woman. And my grandfather died of cancer when she was in her, well, let's see, I was 9. She was probably in her late 40s, in her 40s when my grandfather died. And then it was sort of like the ropes came off, the chains came off, and she could be who she really wanted to be. She got married when she was really, really young. So anyway, I remember things about my grandmother, her hats, of course, and her Zoris, or her flip-flops. She always wore this same pearl nail polish, and she was always doing her nails, and always had her hair, done, and always had to have her lipstick on. But she loved people. That's what I loved about her. She loved people. People were always more important than anything. She would stop what she was doing. She would invite people in, and she just made you feel like you were the most important person in the world. When I was in high school, she always said that she loved having teenagers over. And we would put on music, and we would all dance. She would dance. We danced. She would come and sit out by the pool with us. She lived in an apartment down in Jacksonville, Florida. She never had a whole lot of money, but she was always spending money on us, on little fun things. She loved to spend time with people. And she would sit out with us at the pool, and I'll never forget the time I had some friends over that she had actually introduced me to, and they became lifelong friends. And she just decided she wanted to go swimming, and she didn't want to go back to the apartment to get her swimming suit on, so she jumped in the pool with all her clothes on, and she still had her hat on, and went down underneath the water and came back up, and her hat was still on. Wow. She was drenched. It was hilarious. But that's just the kind of stuff that she would do. She loved to eat dinner at 10 o'clock at night. She always liked to have her little happy hour before she had dinner. I like that about her too. And she was an artist. She loved to paint. In fact, she had these wine glasses that she painted a different flower on each one. So you know how we have wine charms now? Well, she painted hers so everybody knew which wine glass was theirs. And she just was a wonderful lady. I just loved her. I missed her. It was hard when she died, except that she had Alzheimer's the last 15 years of her life, and she wasn't really who she was. But I just loved her. She was just really fun. She loved to wear bright colors. She was a bright personality. She loved people, and people loved her. People still talk about her. Oh, I remember your grandmother. I remember her bringing you to church when you were a little girl, and she loved Jesus too, and that was very cool. She wasn't religious. She loved Jesus. even back when it wasn't cool to love Jesus. You know, after all, she was an Episcopal priest's wife. But she was really neat. Really neat. Anything else